4 decades after his death, the art of Ansel Adams remains the standard for nature photography. Conor Knighton visits an exhibit honoring an American master.
In the spring of 1927, photographer Ansel Adams hiked with his friends through the snow at Yosemite National Park in California. The 25-year-old brought along his camera, as he always did, stopping to take a photo he later titled Monolith, the Face of Half Dome. That now iconic image helped launch his career. Adams went on to become one of the most recognizable faces of American nature photography.
Many photographers speak about the fact that you cannot take pictures of the Western landscape today or the national parks without automatically thinking in some way of Ansel Adams. This is where you see those raindrops gathering on the pine needles, the really beautiful kind of mist as it clears.
Sarah McKay is an assistant curator for the DeYoung Museum in San Francisco. Adams was born in San Francisco. His first solo exhibition was held at the DeYoung in 1932.
What Ansel Adams advocated for throughout his career was how photography should be considered a fine art in and of itself.
For a while, was it not? Were people not taking him seriously?
Yeah, I mean, photography, even into like the 50s, 60s, and 70s, photography was always kind of struggling to be considered a fine art medium. Today, we know it to be, but it was not even throughout a lot of the 20th century.
Adams was ahead of his time. In the DeYoung's new exhibition, Ansel Adams in Our Time, his images are displayed alongside the works of some of the contemporary photographers he influenced. Photographers like Abelardo Morel, who uses a camera obscuratent to capture 2 views simultaneously.
This photograph is actually of the ground itself with the image projected onto it.
Oh, so this line I'm seeing is
This is
concrete?
the cement concrete, yes. And so what's so funny about this picture is Ansel Adams took Clearing Winter Storm from a parking lot.
Clearing Winter Storm is typical of Adams' work. Nature is shown as a pristine wilderness. Contemporary photographers, on the other hand, are more likely to include evidence of a human presence, playing up that contrast. Adams is best known for the contrasts he created in the darkroom. When correspondent Ed Bradley visited him at home in Carmel, California for Sunday Morning in 1979, Adams gave a glimpse into his painstaking printmaking process.
See how this is burned out?
So you discard
Compared to that, so I just discard that.
What do you do with your rejects?
They are destroyed. Everybody's asking me, oh, don't throw it away. Even if it isn't good, I like it, but I can't have bad prints out.
You're a perfectionist now?
Well, you have to be, yes.
Come on in here, Connor.
Oh, so this is the darkroom.
This is the darkroom.
Ansel's son, Michael Adams, used to accompany his father on his photographic expeditions. Today, he lives in that same Carmel home, where he's kept the darkroom intact.
This happens to be a moonrise.
Oh, that's moonrise. Yeah, I recognize that even in reverse. Yeah. It's a cliche phrase, but to say that, like, this is where the magic happens. For him, it was.
It did. This was where the magic happened, yeah.
Ansel Adams was a classically trained pianist. He often referred to the photographic negative as the score and the print as the performance. Over his career, he performed his photos in several different ways, constantly tweaking exposures in the darkroom.
I would have to say almost all of the ones that are well known, there's a fair amount of manipulation in the darkroom to bring up what he wanted you to see. And he would say, this is not what you're going to see when you look at this, but it's what I want you to see.
But as far as what he wanted you to see, Adams was reluctant to get specific. Here's what he told Sunday Morning 3 years before his death.
People say to me, well, what did you mean when you did that picture? What did you have in mind? I said, it's in the picture. No, I mean, I want you to tell me. What were you thinking about? I said, if it didn't in the photograph, then I failed.
With crowds still coming out in droves to see his photographs decades later, and with contemporary artists still riffing on his compositions, it's clear Adams succeeded in capturing something timeless.
His ability to spot those images that were going to be majestic and iconic and really just gorgeous is something that I think differentiates him from so many.